It's me, Mario.
Hey there guys, I'm Sonic Ghost.
Hello.
What's up, my friends? I am Kinmeister LP, and I literally cannot go back to this game ever again because I think I burned this out of my childhood, honestly.
That bad, huh?
And I am Aaron the Great 695.
And it's me, Welcome!
And welcome to probably one of the most played games on the internet as a whole, Super Mario 64 for the Nintendo 64. This game has been played by basically everyone, their grandmother, and any other person you can think of known the man. But for this playthrough, I'm going to try to change up a tiny bit. It's a semi-speedrun where I basically will do some speedrunning tricks, break the game a bit, because that hasn't been done too much on YouTube, but at the same time, we're still going to play the game a little bit like usual. Well, not many people mess around with Mario's head in the beginning.
No, because
We'll at
it's
least try to
boring.
make this different, but I know so many people have played this game, and just like Ken said, it's to a point where some people get sick of it.
Please come to the castle.
Yeah, I literally cannot come back to this game ever again.
Peach.
I mean, it's easier for me now when I'm starting to learn more and more new things about it. Like when I learned how to do the 16-star runs, that was a really new thing.
Like, I 100%ed it at least, like, I 100%ed it like 3 times, but at the same time, you can say that I went back to this game and just explored a lot, and this game is, like, literally, like, photographed within my head, so there's, like, not, like, one, like, nook or cranny I don't know about this game, you know?
Okay, well pay attention to certain levels later on then, because there are certain things that are going to be changed. Not by graphical ways, it's just how you would get to it.
Why, are you playing a later version or something?
No, it's just I'm kind of clipping through walls, but that's besides the point.
People should play more mods with this game.
I never really glitched around this game. The only like 3D Mario game I glitched around in was Sunshine, and that wasn't on purpose either.
Well, what
Yeah,
glitch you doing there?
Well, actually, I'm lying. One of them was purposeful, but the other one was like accidental. Like the accidental one was like, you know, the main plaza where you're jumping on top of the building and you're trying to get to the pipe that leads over to the hotel level or whatever.
Yeah.
Somehow, I ended up falling through one of the windows in the building and clipping through it and then falling to my death. Okay, and for the purposeful one, there's like... There's this guy that's in a turret thing back in the theme park level, and I pound on top of him, and I end up underneath him, and he doesn't even have like a full body or anything. It's like missing like his torso and all. So.
Yeah, that sounds like a rendering issue right there for the game. Really, the only real glitch I honestly thought you were going to say was the most notorious glitch in the game where when you get to the flooded section you can walk underneath the water. So I've seen so many people do that. I'm one of them. I'll be showing that off whenever we get to that game. Because that's probably one of my favorite glitches in a Mario game.
Spoilers.
I'm sorry.
Spoilers, I'm recording it.
I think one of my all-time favorite glitches are going to be will probably be like the wooden sword glitch from Twilight Princess, actually.
Wait, when you keep this wooden sword?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I've seen people do that before. I haven't tried it myself, but some of those glitches are harder to do in the Wii version, so that's kind of why.
Well, there's two different There's two different steps. One is to keep it until you get the Master Sword, and one's just to keep it forever. So.
True, although I wouldn't want to do that because it's weaker. But
Well,
yeah.
it's good for a challenge run. That's like why I want to do it.
True.
Because Twilight Princess is already piss easy as it is. Why add a little more to?
Well, it's easy enough when you play it
What am I
normally.
saying? It's like what? Let's make that a little more challenging, somewhat. You know.
It's easy when you do it normally. From what I've seen, if you try to sequence break through it, the game is pretty dang difficult.
Yeah. But you know what's interesting about the Bob-omb thing?
What? Okay, Wecker, your volume just went really downhill all of a sudden.
Okay, so that just isn't my end then. What?
No, it's not.
Still here?
Yeah, you're just really, really quiet. So, you're probably not being heard in the video, but, hopefully you fix that.
You might want to check your mic, dude.
Yeah, check the mic settings real quick on your computer and Skype, see what it's doing. But,
Because you might have accidentally unplugged it, and then, like, you're using your webcam or something.
maybe, or the mic underneath your machine, because I think you did that once before. But, yeah, okay, let's go ahead back to explain the game a tiny bit here. This is the second mission where you have to race Koopa the Quick. A lot of people will unlock the cannons the second they go on the mission, but instead, I'm actually going to unlock it after I beat Koopa the Quick, because there's a lot of time you gotta waste. So I just find it to be faster to race him, and then jump all the way down, get the cannon, and go right back up, because he still takes forever to get up there.
Well, doesn't he disqualify you if you use the cannon?
He does if you're doing that during the race, but if you beat him and have to wait, then it doesn't count. It'll just act like you still win, so it doesn't matter. And that's the nice thing about it. Once you learn how the game works, you can kind of do stuff like this. This is like the biggest time waster in the whole entire game, right here.
You can pretty much turn the game into your whipping bitch.
Well, with a lot of glitches this game has, I can imagine, yes.
The game still freezes over the text.
Yeah.
So
Am I better now, by the way?
Most of that is because it's the first 3D game, like, ever. Well, isn't it? I think it is.
It's the first 3D Mario game, and yes, Walker, we can hear you now, so you got it fixed.
Wait, no, I'm wrong. I think that would be Doom, but...
Oh, yeah, but this, like I said, the first 3D Mario.
You could just expect a lot of very unpolished areas and...
Yeah.
It's just,
Thing is, this game, and in particular this level, is so cleverly constructed. I mean, almost everything you see is sprites.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, the Bob-omb King, for example, except for his crown and his mustache, is all sprites.
Exactly, because the N64 had limited rendering technology when this game came out, so they didn't have too much to work with for graphics, and rendering everything at sprites just made it a lot easier.
I think it's just a matter of experimentation. I'm pretty sure it could do more than that.
Oh,
it's
it
just
probably
the fact
could,
that...
but at the same time, other games like Paper Mario did the same thing.
Thing is, but it's done so well. I mean, for example, those balls that roll down the hill.
Well, no, I think it's...
If you don't know it, you don't realize they're not really balls. They're sprites. You don't realize that if you're just playing it.
No. I think with Paper Mario, I don't think it's sprites. I think it's just 3D models that are shaped to be, thin,
Well, I heard... I'm not sure. Was it that, or was it just sprite-wise?
Hold on.
No, it's flat models.
Oh, it is? Yeah, because I hear so many different sources, I really don't know. I'm just going with
also,
one I
for
recently
example,
heard.
the trees. If you don't really look at them, they don't look like sprites, do they?
No, exactly. They look more like just 3D objects, but they're actually sprites.
No, not really. I mean, I think they're pretty easy to spot. As long as something's flat, they're sprites,
Oh, yeah, like, for example, falling down like that.
They don't look flat, that's my point.
Well, like, if they don't have any depth or anything, then yeah, they're sprites. Like, the coins there, for example, if you try to look at it from a different angle, it sort of looks the same, and the same can be said for, like, the paintings and stuff,
But it still did really well in implementing shadows and things like that to sort of make it still look like it's really there. And, for example, the chain here, they still use overlap to sort of blend it into the environment.
True, yeah.
Now that I think of it, I'm actually really glad we picked this project first. Because, note to our viewers, we actually have, like, 8 or so projects we have, like, sitting on the archives that we need to get around to recording, and...
Yeah, exactly, which is why I wanted us to get back to recording very soon, which is what we're trying to do.
Juggling between different projects, trying to figure out what we need to do, so...
Yeah, this game won't take us too long. It's only 11 parts long, so we won't be here for a very long time. In fact, the longest part's like 20 minutes, so it's not that bad. And this is getting 100%, mind you. That's why I wanted to do it the way I did, because we're gonna get 100%, but we're not gonna be here for a very long time, because this is one of the Mario games that can drag it out a tiny bit for some 100% sake. Although I think the later title's actually worse for that, but besides...
you beat this game faster than when I did a minimalist run of Super Mario Sunshine. That took me around 15 or 16 parts.
Yeah. So right
some of
there's
those
a big
parts
difference.
required shit tons of editing because of those stupid bonus levels.
Well, this required a ton of editing, too. This was at least 9 or 10 hours of footage. I cut down to 3, mainly because I do a lot of resets. until I
think
get
on
something
average,
that works.
You have like 80 seconds per star.
Segmented.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is basically like a segmented run if you want to qualify as something like that.
Ooh.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I
There's a
I
lot
love
of cool
that.
tricks you can do in this game, like that, for example, but that's just a minor thing.
Lester knows,
But
Lester knows how to make this game his whipping bitch.
Well, I have been watching Siglemic, the guy who speedruns this game, so there's that. You learn tricks when you watch the speedrunners.
I love how you phased through him.
Yeah, I know, there's this one
How is
frame
that-
animation where you can do the ground pound and you can actually clip through something, so it just looks funny when you can clip through the Whomp King like that.
Well, now I know not to challenge you in a speed run, then.
Anyone want to race me in this game? I'll beat you before you even get to the first Bowser. That sounds good, right? Oh, then I'm cocky.
You know, internally, the geometry of this level is really weird because it's one of the few levels where the actual rendering is separate from the collision.
Oh, definitely, yes.
I think it's only this level and Cool Mountain that does that.
I think so, yeah, where they're rendered differently than other
What?
levels.
What?
What, you didn't know the extra life was there?
No? How
And
are
you
they-
told me you know every nook and cranny of this game.
There's no present, like, hit there.
I just found that by accident.
What? How?
So, now we know for a fact that Ken does not know every nook and cranny, so there's a lie right there. Like I said, just pay attention. There's certain things that you might not know or just might not be able to find. You still learn new things, even with the games you have played to death. I played the
Exactly.
crap out of like the earlier Zelda games like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and I'm still learning new things about those games.
Well, there's a lot of fun things about this game that, even if you look for them, they're hard to find.
Oh, exactly. That's what I like about games like this. It's one of my favorite things to do in games, is just look for things that you never noticed your first time playing.
Do you think that it's because of lack of polish, or do you think maybe they intended for that?
Well, at the same
I think a
time,
bit of
it
both.
might just been because they didn't know how to render that properly in the system with the sprites or the 3D models or anything, so you never really know what's the true reason. I don't think they
Bit of
fixed
both.
that in the DS port, though. I think it's still very hard to tell if there's a life in that wall or not. But it's been so long since I played the
now
DS
that I
port, I
think of
can't
it,
even
what is
say.
the whole purpose of this stupid climb up to the top of that stone structure if you can just use the tree to get up there?
Well,
It
it's
is
mainly for coins.
Secret, right?
You're supposed to do that your first time, but you know, you could just use a tree. It's faster.
Or a backflip.
Yeah, and even a
Well,
backflip,
like,
yeah.
there's signs in the courtyard that tell you about climbing trees, so even then you wouldn't, unless you really just sort of rush the game through and have never really played a Mario game, then you don't, get the notion to go through all that,
That's true, yeah.
But you know what's very interesting about this game? How much was actually changed between the Japanese and American version?
You would
Oh,
think
really?
there wouldn't be as much change, but there's a lot of notable things here and there, like sound effects,
Yeah.
stars,
Okay.
locations, there's some stars in boxes and some stars that are not.
I never really looked
Voice
into
acting,
that.
there's
few
a lot of
paintings.
differences.
Because I know, one of the Nintendo games that are really, infamous for having a lot of changes between, the Japanese and English versions, or Zelda 2, for example. I never actually looked into 64. I didn't think they had many differences.
But at the same time, a lot of games do this back in the day.
Yeah.
Nowadays, every single game and every single region is basically the same. It's just text and text speed that's really the biggest difference.
Why do you suppose they changed some of that stuff, though,
I think
I
it's just
don't know, for
because
some-
it's time restraints in certain areas. Because if there's something they want to do, and they gotta release it at this time, they can't do it. So while they're trying to
Well-
localize the game, they fix it.
For some things, yes, but other things... I mean, for example, the Jolly Roger painting, I don't get why they changed that.
Yeah, no, some things like that, I honestly don't know why either. It would
Why,
have been
what was it
perfectly
like,
fine
what
to
was
stay
it
the
like in the
same.
Japanese version?
Well, basically,
It was
the
basically
Japanese
bubbles.
version, is the one you see in the DS version, is the one they have in the Japanese version.
Yeah, you know
Because they
how
changed
the
it back in
painting,
in the DS version.
you know how in the DS version of this game that painting is bubbles for Jolly Roger Bay?
I
That's
see.
what it is in Japanese. And they leave it like that for the DS version.
They should have just kept the ship in the 3DS version. I found the ship better than the bubbles.
Well, that's what it originally was. That's why they changed the picture back to the bubbles.
I know, but the ship was better.
But why did they change it anyway?
That's why I want to know. Sometimes it just doesn't make any sense why they changed this stuff. Really random. But this is the part of the game that's going to drag out the levels the most, getting the 100 coins, which I usually do getting the red coins, but sometimes it's faster just to get them with a different star. You'll see in certain levels which ones are faster and which ones aren't. Like for example, this level, it's just faster to get with red coins.
Did you practice the hell out of this game before you recorded this?
I told you this at least 10-hour footage cut down to like 3 hours, so that's a definite yes, and a lot of resets.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a second. You do know that if you jump on, like, if you hop on top of the back of that Whomp, you can get more coins out of it, right? Before you ground pound it?
True, but I already have enough coins, it really won't matter.
Hmm.
In fact, there's still other coins I could have gotten this level,
Ooh.
I just didn't.
I thought you were about to fall down. What the flip?
I honestly did too when I was recording, and I just got lucky.
Satisfying.
One thing I didn't get to mention yet is basically when you ground pound while getting to a star, your momentum is kept going down, so the second you get the star, you plummet to the ground as fast as you can. So whenever I'm collecting these stars, you'll just see me ground pound before getting them. It's the fastest way to get them, at least.
You know, I often wonder, like, how if somebody were to like make a ROM hack and put a star above a pit, and then you grab it, and like you were saying, you plummet to the ground due to momentum. Would you still get the star, or would
you have to hit ground before it registers, so while you get it, it won't be put in your inventory.
So the game would basically freak out.
No, not really. You would just die.
Yeah.
But there you go. That's the first part out of the way. So we'll see you guys back here in part 2.